If someone points at your mother and calls her shameless and incapable of educating her children, what would you do? Would you resort to violence? Or argue with that person? Let's see how the protagonist of this story handles the situation. Wendy arrived at the entrance of her mother's workplace and heard a woman shouting, "Sherry, you are shameless!" The store manager was very angry and also scolded the woman. The woman is Mr. Ween's current wife, who was unhappy with Wendy asking Mr. Ween for money, so she came to humiliate her mother. Wendy opened a bottle of drink and splashed it at Mrs. Ween. She immediately got angry because she was wearing expensive branded clothes and couldn't wear them anymore. Wendy mocked her for not even understanding the law, and as Mr. Ween is the biological father of her and her siblings, he should pay child support. If Mrs. Ween comes to harass her mother again, she will take her to court. Upon hearing this, Mrs. Ween cursed Wendy's family as bad people and angrily left. After Mrs. Ween left, Sherry was shocked by Wendy's behavior and also believed that Wendy should not ask for money, which was embarrassing for her. Wendy was also very emotional and did not understand her mother's thinking. The money was their life-saving money, so why sacrifice a better life for the sake of face? The mother and daughter had a big argument, and Sherry made an excuse to leave, saying that she needed to buy fruit for Timmy while wiping her tears. Wendy saw her mother's appearance and felt very regretful. She realized her tone of voice was too harsh and disrespectful to her mother, which made her feel guilty. She regretted not controlling her emotions and not taking care of her mother's feelings. The younger brothers heard the noise and ran to the door. Timmy looked worriedly at his sister. Wendy comforted him and said it was okay, and told them to quickly go back to their own rooms to do their homework. Timmy obediently nodded, while Marco happily jumped up and prepared to play games. He told Wendy that he wanted to become a professional esports player. Wendy was helpless and could only ask him not to neglect his studies. On the other side, Dylan had been discharged from the hospital and was on his way home. After losing his memory, Dylan had not returned home yet. The butler was informing him of some basic information. Dylan had attended a prestigious European noble school since childhood and was proficient in English, French, and German. His father had passed away early, and his mother managed the family business. His grandfather had a bad temper and was not pleased with Dylan being a pilot, hoping that he would come back to inherit the family business. At home, Dylan's grandfather sat solemnly in the middle of the living room. As soon as Dylan walked in, his grandfather's face turned serious, and he questioned Dylan about when he would take over the family business. He asked if Dylan had to wait until he died before he would listen. Dylan angrily retorted, "I have already promised you that I will come back to inherit the family business after flying 10 million miles. After speaking, Dylan went upstairs to rest. The grandfather's face turned livid, with a furrowed brow and tightly pursed lips, clearly infuriated. He was already in poor health, and this anger caused him to cough uncontrollably, feeling a tightness in his chest as if he couldn't breathe. His fingers clenched into fists, constantly tapping on the table, issuing angry rebukes that made the entire room tremble. His eyes were full of anger and discontent, as if he wanted to vent out all his dissatisfaction. At this moment, the grandfather's emotions had reached the brink of collapse, making people shudder. Dylan was very sad. His family atmosphere always made him feel oppressed and exhausted. He lay in bed for a long time, couldn't calm down, filled with endless sadness and loneliness. Wendy's face suddenly appeared in his mind. Her beautiful face and radiant smile instantly warmed Dylan's heart. Dylan was grateful to have Wendy by his side, knowing that no matter what challenges and difficulties he encountered in life, as long as Wendy was by his side, he had indefinite courage and strength. The next day, Wendy came to the hospital to visit Dylan, only to find out that he had already been discharged. Wendy felt a bit sad that Dylan didn't even tell her when he was leaving the hospital. She thought that Dylan probably didn't care about her. Suddenly, she heard a voice coming from the stairs. Dylan didn't die. The car accident didn't kill him. Wendy was shocked to hear this. Was Dylan set up? What happened in the accident? How will Wendy expose the truth? Stay tuned for the next episode to find out.